According to new reports this week, Donald Trump's Trump Organization is actually in the late stages of the process of selling off one of the crown jewels of the Trump Organization itself, which is Trump International Hotel in Washington, D.C. As you'll recall, that is the place where foreign nationals would go and book a bunch of rooms, sometimes pay in advance and then never show up and use the rooms. It's where any Republican group wanting to get influence over Donald Trump during his administration, they'd hold their events there. The hotel pulled in millions of dollars from the foreign officials and from these Republican groups over those 4 years, but none of it was enough to save the hotel. And it is, in fact, according to these reports, losing money. It's losing a lot of money. And so the Trump Organization is trying to offload it, which isn't as easy as you might think, right? We're not talking about, hey, I've got this great hotel over here, you want to buy it. Because, see, it's in a building that's actually owned by the federal government, so the lease is held by the federal government, and Donald Trump had to buy the lease from them. I believe it was in 2012, 2013-ish. So he bought the lease, and now they're trying to sell the lease. But he's trying to sell it for way more than what they paid for it. So if the sale goes through as is, they will make several $100 million off of this sale because they're thinking they can get, $400 million for it. Whereas a couple years ago, when they toyed around with the idea of selling it, they thought they could get over $500 million for it, and now they've had to lower the price a bit because, But they do have very interested buyers. Major hotel chains are wanting to purchase this. So the sale is going to go through. He's probably going to make a couple $100 million off of it, and that money's all going to go into Trump's pocket. But you know what's not going to go in Trump's favor on this? His name. That was what he wanted. He wanted his name right there in downtown Washington, D.C. He wanted tourists from all over the country, all over the world, to see his name. And the first thing, in fact, this is already being reported, that these hotels that want to buy it are talking about is how to immediately rip that Trump name off of the building. Literally, get it off. Disassociate that piece of property from Donald Trump, because that is where the toxicity lies. I mean, honestly, I know Trump likes to see his name up there and everything, but if you wanted your business to be more successful these days, taking your name off the properties is actually the best way to start. You're hated by more than half of the country. And I know you have your hardcore MAGA hat wearers, but those aren't exactly the people that have the kind of resources to, become members at Bedminster, or become members at Mar-a-Lago, or even stay in your D.C. hotel. And that's what's caused Donald Trump a lot of financial headaches over the years. Yes, he pandered to those individuals. They showed up at his rallies. But he needs the millionaire and billionaire class to keep his properties functioning and turning a profit. He doesn't have that anymore. They've turned against him, even if they support him behind the scenes. They've turned against him publicly because they understand how toxic it is to be associated with him. So again, he's going to make a lot of money. The hotel's going to rip off the Trump name. And hopefully, other properties around the country, hell, around the globe, hopefully in the coming years they get to do the same thing too. Ring of Fire has fresh content 7 days a week, so if you want to be reminded about it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell to be notified every time a new video goes up.